talkSPORT cricket, England have landed in Barbados, so the Phil Salt bat signal has gone up. Phil, I've heard a rumour that you spent some time growing up here in your childhood. Can you confirm or deny?
I didn't. No one's ever asked me this before, but yeah, I did live here. I think from about 10 to 16 till I went back to the UK. So obviously got very fond memories of the place, and it'd be nice to get a series win on return.
We do have a new Barbados-based question to ask you this time round. Jacob Bethell, you and him both went to the same school, not at the same time. Just wondering, from your time having grown up here, and Bethell kind of followed in your footsteps almost, when was the first time you heard about him, and was there any chat about who was better at school, like him or you?
The first time I heard about Beth was a few years ago. I came back for a couple of weeks to train before Big Bash, and Franklin Stevenson, I was training up by him, and he told me, "I got to see this young lad. He's going over to the UK soon." He said he's about this high, and that was the first I'd ever heard of him, and I kept an eye out for him, a couple of years after that, but didn't really hear too much from him. And then obviously signed professional, and now I can't stop hearing about him.
How exciting is it to be able to see someone kind of go all the way up when you first hear about them as a teenager? Because you must hear loads of people tell you that, so-and-so, this 14-year-old's a good player. But actually, see Bethell, who was a Bayesian lad as well, is a Bayesian lad, come over to the UK and make it. And it seems like very, very good players think he's very, very good, and it's very exciting for England.
Yeah, it is nice. I've been lucky in my time that I've had that with a lot of people. I had that with Joffre when Joff came over and we were living together. So it's quite a similar feeling. I really enjoy seeing the both of them do well. Obviously, what Beth's done already in an England shirt. He's only 22, 21. It's remarkable.
He only had his birthday last week.
See, that's remarkable, and I think with Beth it's more, obviously his cricket speaks for itself. You watch him, he's a good player, but I think it's more the head that's on his shoulders, the way he thinks about the game, the way he studies the game. I think that's the most impressive bit. I don't think that's the thing that a lot of professionals have going at 21. I'm really excited for him. I'm really pleased that he's making a mark already.
We're not just speaking to you because we're in Barbados. You played a very fine innings in the second ODI in Antigua, setting up what was a very impressive run chase. Just from a personal level, how satisfying was that not?
It was satisfying at the end of the game. When you get to those positions, I'm my own, harshest critic. I know that. I feel like I should have gone on and made a really big score, and shouldered a bit more of the work at that point in time. Obviously the way Sammy and Livy and Beth came in and played, was brilliant. But I'm happy with where my game's at now in 50 over cricket. It's been a tough one, having a whole year basically of playing just T20 cricket. I think it's really nice to be back in the rhythm of 50 over cricket and being exposed to that. I'm happy with where my game's at the moment, and hopefully I take that into the third game here and finish with the series win.
When Livingston, after the first ODI, came out and he said, "We need to bat smarter," what does that mean for a player like you, who's your role is to be very aggressive at the top? How do you kind of process that information and that messaging of right, I need to be smarter, but also I need to be forcing the issue as much as possible for my team?
I think when anybody's at their best, they're aggressive and smart. I think people can hear that and think that one goes against the other, but I hear that and think, yeah, they go hand in hand. They have to if you're going to have any success in white ball cricket. I think it's just about reading the game. I think it's about being exposed to those situations where you have the opportunity to adjust. I think as a professional that is the smartness that Livy's on about. I don't think it's necessarily execution or your skill or anything to do with hitting the ball or bowling the ball. I think that it's where's your head at this point in time. For myself, it would be prolonging my innings, extending partnerships. Those are two of the most important things, I think, in 50 over cricket. So I think they actually go hand in hand.
How do you evaluate your own kind of 50 over career so far? Because I remember reading a statistic, I'm sorry to bring it up, about like Salt's not getting out of the power play in 50 over cricket, and it looks like you go, right, this over a fairly large sample size. But actually, like you say, you haven't played 50 over cricket in a year. It's just, well, actually, you're making an assumption of a run of something over a long period of time, which actually got a series of anomalies. Like, what has been your, you seem very settled in the T20 sides. Do you feel the same in the ODI side? Kind of how have you assessed your performances?
I know I could have got more runs. I think for myself, it's how do I drop the strike rate and pump the average. You know, it's very easy. You know, I don't think there's many players in this team that you could go through and go, oh, they're doing a great job right now. I think that's the reality of it, because we've not played a lot of 50 over cricket. I'd love something like a domestic 50 over competition. I would love the opportunity to play in that, so we can get the rhythm, and you know, it's not always stop start. That's not what we've got. So as a player, you have to adapt. The honest answer is I don't really know. I'm taking it one game at a time. If I can be better, you know, today than I was yesterday, perfect. Tomorrow I want to get better again. You know, I don't think there's many people that can just walk in and do it after not playing for a while, I think, is the bottom line.
Is that something you mentioned there, the wonderful desire for a 50 over competition that you can compete in? Obviously you're in the 100, so those clash. Like, is that a sentiment that's shared within the players? Is that something you've felt for a long time, that you want this opportunity to play and kind of perfect this format?
I can only speak for myself. I've not had that chat with anybody else really. That's just my own thoughts. I think it'd be exactly the same the other way around. I think, you know, if I only played 50 over cricket for a year, I think there'd be criticisms when I go back to T20 cricket. I think that's, you know, very, very natural. I think, you know, that's just my own thoughts on it. I know that I've not had the most successful time in 50 over cricket so far, and I've not really been doing myself justice. But the more opportunities I get to play it, the better I will be at it. Is the bottom line.
Made me wonder there, like, I remember reading an interview with you earlier on in the season about like your desire to play more red ball cricket, and there was a moment where there was talk about a new wicketkeeper potentially going into the Test setup, but then you got the IPL, so you missed that, block the county championship for Lancashire, and then you play in the 100, so you missed the domestic 50 over competition. How difficult is it for you to kind of improve the game, your game the way you want to, when you don't have the opportunities to play in the format stats you want to progress in?
It's difficult because, you know, it's not like I'm short of cricket. I've got cricket to play 12 months of the year. If that's what I want to do, I can do that. There's been conversations about the schedule for ages, and you know how that's set up. And I'm not really going to go into that, but I just want the opportunity to be as successful as I can be, really.
But on that, Brendan McCullum's taking over the white ball side in January. For someone who doesn't have masses of opportunities to play red ball cricket for Lancashire, to whack a few sixes, score a few hundreds for England in front of the Test coach, if playing Test cricket is something you'd like to do, surely that's a very exciting appointment for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think Baz is aware there's a lot of players. You know, I don't think he's going to watch me bat and think I'm the only man in England.
You never know,
But I don't really look too far in the future. That's not really my style. I know I've got a training day tomorrow and then the game's the day after, so that's where I'm at the minute. Maybe I will play Test cricket, maybe I won't, but the focus right now is 50 over cricket and myself being successful in that, and the side being successful in that, because we've got a lot of 50 over cricket coming up.
Then last question on 50 over cricket, it's not going to be a case where it's more ODIs that can be put into the schedule for you guys to have the chance to play. What could that look like? Could that look like more England Lions fixtures across the summer? Could that look like a second List A competition across the summer which doesn't clash with the 100? Does that look like anything in your mind, basically?
I've got I'm not paid enough for that. I'm not paid enough to set the schedule up as well.
Phil, we'll discuss it. We'll work it out off air. It's all perfect. Phil, thank you very much.
Thanks, mate.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.